Hey YouTube, Fuzz Fursday again. Another video from Fuzz Fursday because the first one I've had a few attempts at this to try and make it work. This here is the afterlife pedal. I don't know if that's big enough for you to actually read it. Chaos ensuing darkness focused in a moment of time in time. Tone is the afterlife, Mr. White. It's the afterlife. It's not just tone. It is the afterlife. Yeah, so we've got 4 modes on it: vintage distortion, modern fuzz, and vintage fuzz. Now I might put a wee link in the bottom for the first video I did of this. I tried. I mean, this might not be the pedal's fault. This might be something I've done messing about with my pedal board. It's now working, but by golly, was it noisy! Really noisy. Everything else seemed all right on its own. Really noisy using the normal power adapter I use that's plugged in down there. And then so I thought, okay, right. So I thought, right, okay, maybe the power supply's off, not working properly. Just a cheapy, yeah, it's an expensive pedal, might need a better power source. It does say 9 volts on it, so it's not like it was the wrong one. So what I did was I was like, right, okay. So after kind of talking about it for a couple of minutes, I was like, all right, I'll replace the rat pedal so it's got like a proper isolated power supply down in the floor behind me where our pedals are. There. And it was just the same. So I unplugged every other pedal, so there's no other power going in. It's just like my wee, there's a Harley Benton something, you know, it's like 6 or 7 or 6 or 8 outputs in the front, running different outputs. I've now just got it plugged in on its own. Everything else is unplugged, and I'm now going straight into this and then straight into the orange TH30. So the reverb's gone. It was a pedal I was using, and it's not as noisy, although it is still quite noisy. Quite annoying. Again, I said before, it's an expensive pedal. So I'm using my Ibanez Blazer, which I use for all the Fuzz Fursday ones, just to try and keep things even a bit. There's the clean sound bridge pickup. And then this is, it goes vintage first, so this is vintage distortion. All you've got is the 4 options and a volume control. Forgot to mention the fact you may have noticed that that light's not the same colour as it was earlier on. It's got like one of those cycling colour change things, which I don't think it's probably a very expensive thing to do. It's quite cool. I've not seen it before. It's also got lights in the inside, in the sides there, which you can't see because it's quite bright if I stand in front of the light. It's got like slots in the side, so it looks like I don't know. There's something inside the coffin. Pretty cool. I do quite like the colour changing LED. But not if that's what's causing the noise issues I'm having. It's alright just now. It's still quite noisy. It's like noisier than a rat pedal and stuff like that. But it's still there. You know, when I say noisy, I mean when it's not playing. And then going for that's noisier. This is a modern distortion. When does modern start? I still think of modern as being anything past the 90s. Now it's a vintage fuzz. This actually, I might actually be okay. I'm not going to make it 5 minutes because already 5 minutes. I'm trying to make my videos shorter rather than just going on for 25 or half an hour. then the last one is Modern Fuzz. Right, try to keep this video short. Please, in the comments, tell me, does your one sound crap as well if you've got one of these? I don't like this at all. I quite like the look of it. It's the same company, what are they called again? VVco pedals from California. They'd had one before, had a shot of one off the same guy actually. Sorry Ian, I don't like it. But I'm reserving the right, I'm not using it wrong, right? But it's not for me at all. So these guys made it. There was a Batmobile pedal, which I actually really quite liked. It was really good, similar sort of thing, but a Batmobile instead of a coffin. I think it was just a distortion, but it was actually quite a good pedal. Plus, it looked really cool. I don't think it's the Batmobile. I don't think was that expensive. I think it was like 80 quid or something. Which is, it's not cheap, but it wasn't, hundreds. I'm not sure about this. I mean, maybe if it's about that price, it does have 4 modes on it. It's made in America, and it's got cool lights and it looks cool, but I don't like it. Not the fact that I'm actually sweating because I had such a bitch of a time. Actually, I'll put the video of me struggling with it down in the link below. I'll just leave it unlisted. I don't want to sabotage my channel. But yeah. So I mean, please comment if you've got one of these, but it's totally different. I mean, I'm kind of at the stage of wondering if it's not working right. And I tried different power supplies and all that. It was just noisy. And then the thing is that it just doesn't sound very good, I don't think. For an Ibanez Blazer through that in this situation, playing the kind of stuff I play. It might have other uses. I do get that. It's like just because I don't like, a certain type of cheese, or I don't like a certain flavour of crisps, and you pure love them. That's totally fine. There can be a different taste thing. It could just be that. There's nothing wrong with not liking everyone liking the same flavour of crisps. Sorry, chips if you're American. But yeah, to me it's all style and no substance. Yeah, it's not very often. It's not even my pedal. I feel really bad about this. It's like going online talking about a guitar pedal that one of my pals kindly lent me. If you want to do a demo of it, and I'm going to go as far as to say I think it sounds shit. There you go, controversy. I'm sorry if you made that. Unless I'm doing something wrong or it doesn't. I mean, I'm all for it if it's just having a volume controller. I kind of like a pedal or an amp as well, where if you've got all the knobs at sort of 12, you start off and it's a decent sound. You don't have to tweak it to get an all right sound. I'm not one of those folk that likes to fidget with I'll change a wee bit of the EQ and all that. And I don't mind doing that a little bit to make it sound better, but I basically want to just turn it on and it to be sounding good, and then a slight little bit there, just make it sound great. I'm not into these. You get some amps. It happens to me with a couple of times I've tried to try and use the Marshall JCM 2000 in the studio. It sounds gash, and it's like a mad panic because you're just trying to make it not sound shite. Whereas if you just put it in and then it just sounds all right, that's okay, and then you can improve it. But if it sounds shit and you have to seriously mess about with it to get an all right sound, when I say all right sound, I mean the sound I want, which is not anything particularly complex. I suppose a sort of 60s, 70s sort of rock sound is really my thing. But it's not really doing that for me. To be honest, really on any of the modes. Yeah, I'm sorry everyone. Fuzz Fursday Fail, I think is what's just happened there. I may come back to it again. I'll give it another go in a couple of days once I've calmed down and I'm not really pissed off with it for having to disconnect my entire pedal board just to get it to play with... Oh, I've turned the amp off. You know, I had to disconnect my entire pedal board and bypass it all and use an isolated power supply on its own with nothing else plugged into it to get it that quiet. Which you can't hear. But it's still way noisier than any of the pedals I use. And none of mine, I'd imagine my Pi Fuzz and the Delamo Fuzz put together, plus, this guitar, because it was really cheap, cost less than this pedal. Yeah, you get a different flavour of hiss and buzz, but not on that. Not on. See, that's a single coil pickup hum, but when it's off, I'm talking about when the guitar's not on, and it's. Are the three types of different white noise you can get. Yes. Yeah, a weird one, eh? A weird one. Anyhow, rock on. I'll have a go at it. If anyone's got any suggestions about how to like it, well, I'm going to give it a go, but it looks cool. But colour changing light bulb and shaped like a coffin and saying tone is the afterlife on the back does not a good pedal make. One that sounds good. That's my top one. Same thing with guitars. It's like, what I want from a guitar is it to be really well built and sound great. Not that I don't care what it looks like, but it's more important that it sounds good and plays good. Which, sorry, it doesn't. Rock on, and please do comment. It's not very often you see somebody doing a review of something, especially something that was expensive and they were lent to, so I'm really sorry. I'll take this video down. If you ever decide to try and sell it, I'll take this video down so nobody else accidentally sees it. I should probably look up some videos and see if anyone else has problems with this being a noisy bastard and being basically not even... I mean, the thing is, I could sort of live with the having, the separate power supply and all that, if it sounded pure amazing. Doesn't, I don't think. Oh man, feeling really guilty. Anyhow, rock on. Catch you later. I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow. Right? Do one of these every day, don't I? Rock on.